Hello, my name is Roxana Beach. I would like to share with you a video tutorial to review and practice learning the vascular arm vessels required for the lab practical exam. Before we start, keep in mind 3 important points about blood vessels. Number 1, arteries tend to be deeper than veins, which are more superficial. Number 2, some vessels are named for the region of the body in which they are located. Number 3, the number of veins tends to be higher than the number of arteries. On this model, the red wires represent arteries, while the blue wires represent veins. I will name the arm vessels that you must know for Chapter 4 on blood vessels. Since this is the left arm, all vessels are assumed to be left. I will identify the vessels based on the direction of blood flow. Arteries carry blood away from the heart to the tissues and organs, while veins return blood back to the heart from the tissues and organs. Starting from the superior portion of the arm model, or proximal end, coming from the subclavian artery is the axillary artery. The axillary artery divides into smaller branches. One of those loops around the neck of the humerus, but you don't have to worry about that one. The branch that you do need to be able to recognize is the brachial artery, which runs along the shaft of the humerus. A little further down in the cubital region, or anterior elbow, the brachial artery splits into the radial and ulnar arteries. There are 2 small branches of the brachial artery in between the other 2 vessels, but you don't have to know those, only the ones that parallel the bones of the forearm. The radial and ulnar arteries connect on the anterior carpal and palmar regions to form 2 arches: the deep palmar arch and the superficial palmar arch. The deep palmar arch is located over the proximal ends of the metacarpals. The superficial arch is located over the distal portion of the metacarpals and is more superficial. So keep that point in mind if you're asked to name those vessels. So let's look at the veins that you need to identify. Keep in mind that veins carry blood back to the heart after gas exchange has taken place. Blood from the hand and forearm is returned to the heart through a number of venous structures. The 3 main ones in the forearm region are the median vein, the basilic vein, and the cephalic vein. The median vein helps to drain the small vessels of the anterior hand and forearm. It's labeled number 16 on the model, but don't memorize numbers. Look at its location and identify the fact that it lives between the other 2 large vessels of the forearm. The basilic vein drains the posterior hand veins and runs along the medial anterior aspect of the forearm and upper arm. The cephalic vein drains the posterior hand, but runs along the lateral aspect of the forearm and upper arm. Here's a handy hint to remember where the basilic and cephalic veins live. The cephalic vein is lateral. There is an L and A in both words, and they lie next to each other in both words. So you could almost think of it as cephalateral to give you a little memory trick. In the cubital region is a bridge vein between the cephalic and basilic veins. It's called the median cubital vein. This vein can be quite superficial and is often used to draw blood for laboratory work. Sometimes you can see all three vessels on the surface of the anterior elbow. In the upper arm, the cephalic and basilic veins both continue up the arm towards the shoulder. And where they merge is the axillary vein. There's one more vein that you need to know in the upper arm, and that vein is the brachial vein, which lies alongside the brachial artery. For the lab practical exam, you must be prepared to state which side of the body you are labeling, since many vessels have left and right counterparts. So to recap in order of flow, we have the axillary artery, the brachial artery, the ulnar artery and radial artery, the deep palmar arch, the superficial palmar arch, the median vein, the basilic vein, the cephalic vein, the median cubital vein, the basilic of the upper arm, the cephalic of the upper arm, and where they merge is the axillary vein and the brachial vein. This concludes the tutorial of the vascular arm model.